Hi guys, Gail, Sylvester here. Well, now that it's August, we're starting to get ready for back to school, aren't we? So kids are going to go back to school in September. Fingers crossed, of course, that all goes well. But based on kids going back to school, you probably have some that are going to go to university or college this year, and it might be their first time away from home. Or whether they're not even away from home, but they're going into university. So they're a little bit more independent. So here's what we're going to start finding is that we're going to start getting credit card companies. They're going to start bombarding them and be like, here, you got to get your credit started. Now that you're 18, you're an adult. So let's get credit. And here's a credit application. And they're going to get them from quite a few different of the banks or the lenders. And naturally, kids are probably going to take them because they might not know a lot about credit. So here's a message that I want you to share with them. So it's how to set them up for success when it comes to their credit cards. Because I can almost guarantee I never got spoke to about credit cards, especially when I went into post-secondary. So chances are you didn't either, so you don't think to have the conversation. Or maybe you have, and this is just, maybe they don't hear you. So hearing it from me, they might hear it. So let's talk about a credit card. Let's talk about a balance. So if they have a credit card, so let's say they have a limit of $500, which is kind of typical for your first student credit card. And they're going to use it, whether it's for gas, going out for lunch with their friends, going out for drinks, they go to Starbucks, anything along those lines, they're going to use the credit card. The bill's going to come in. What I would usually recommend is don't use the credit card unless you can pay that off in full when that bill comes, because you know what? The credit card companies charge interest. And what does that mean? And what does that look like? So on a $300 bill, you're going to be paying about 19% in interest, which is pretty standard for credit card companies. And based on 19%, that $300 this month is going to cost you $4.75 in interest. And then what's going to happen is you're going to make the minimum payment of $10, which I can't stress enough. You have to make the minimum payment, because if you don't, that's going to impact your credit, which will impact you when you're done school and you're a little bit older and wiser and you want to get your first car. You might have a few hiccups and a hard time getting it if you don't make your credit card payments, right? So we're going to recommend that you make the minimum payment. So let's say that's $10. So now your next bill, granted you haven't used the credit card now because you're like, oh my God, I just got this bill for $300 and I got to pay it off. So now we're going to make the minimum payment, which is $10. So now your next bill comes in and it's $294.75. So now what's happened is we've added the interest on after your payment was made. So now, but because you haven't paid it off in full, we're going to charge you another 19% on interest on the existing balance, which includes the interest portion from the previous month. So at 19% this month, your interest is now $4.67. So if you make the minimum payment again, your new balance, so we take that $294.75, we add the interest of $467, your new bill is $299.42, and you make your $10 minimum payment. So now your balance is $289.42. We don't use the credit card again that month. So now the next statement comes in, but we've added another 19% on top of that, which is $4.58. So the next bill is now $294. And then you make your $10 a month payment again. So over the last 3 months, you've made three $10 payments. So it's about $30 and your balance is $294. So out of the $30 payments, only $6 went towards the principal because you still owe $294. So this is what you need to be aware of, is that the interest calculates daily and then it compounds monthly. So if you're not paying off the credit card in full, it's going to take you a little while to pay that down, as you can see, because interest keeps adding on every month. So it's a good lesson to learn, is that if you're using your credit card, please pay it off in full. And if you don't have the money to pay it, don't use it at the end of the day, because it's going to cost you a lot more in the end. And then you might get frustrated and maybe you're just kind of throw your hands up in the air and you're like, yeah, it's only $300. I'm not even going to pay it. Like, who cares? Lenders care. That's who cares. And what happens is as you get older and you're done school, you want to now get your first car. They're going to say, well, you didn't pay back the 300. So why are you going to pay back the 30,000 that I'm going to lend you for a car? So these are the lessons that you need to keep in mind when you get your first credit card, is that make sure you make that minimum payment. It's the obligation. It's not the amount. It is the activity of you repaying your debt, whether it be $300, whether it be $30,000, or whether it be $300,000 when you go to buy your mortgage. At the end of the day, we all have an obligation to pay back the lender because they lent us money. So on your first credit card, kind of make sure you make that first payment. And if you have any questions about how does this work or what do I need to know, we're always here to help. Kind of, it's more than just mortgages for us. We're here to help get you set up from the beginning right through to the end to retirement. So if you have any questions, please reach out. We are more than happy to help you and your kids. We'll talk soon.